What is up, everyone? Welcome to the latest installment of the Low Down Popcast. I am the voice of PCW, the voice of Demons Football, and part owner of the hottest wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic, Elliot Popston. And joining me tonight, normally to my right, but he is curating right now. He's the curator of Spirits with Shane. He is the owner of Agent of Flower Float Travel, where you can book your dream getaway at flowerfloattravel.com. He is New York's greatest export. Can sell ice to an Eskimo. Shane Dorr.
I made it. I made it.
To our left is... Oh, sorry, man. I forgot to say you're the founder and part owner of the hottest wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic.
They know who I am.
Oh, dude. Oh, my heart's still trying to slow down. To our left is seven-time fantasy football champion, podcast enthusiast, soon to be Kevin Nash's favorite podcaster, just like his favorite wrestler. He's been on to outwork everyone with his self-proclaimed hottest Funko Pop collection, not your average wrestling mark, and CFO and part owner of Palmetto Championship Wrestling, Jonathan Winburn.
Thanks, man. Shane almost made it. We almost didn't make it.
We almost died.
So fill me in. I'd love to hear this story. So
Everything, your ears good?
yeah, a little bit. It's quiet, but so I would love to hear how this story went, boys, because obviously, folks, I'm just getting here because I wanted to pull an Elliot and Jonathan this week and show up the last minute.
Yeah, well,
So I get a text. Hey, man, we're here. You're not. Can we go in the house and
sure.
it's set up? I said, without hesitation,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
man, go. Well, Elliot, how'd that go?
Well, so we walk in and everything. Use a spare key that Shane's graced us with in times like this, and in case we need to grab something for him or whatever, check on something for him if he's out of town.
Like
So-
it's cats.
Yeah, like his cats.
Meow.
Meow. So we walk in, Jonathan and I, and all of a sudden we hear beep 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 beep.
Well, you should have been hearing it for a long time.
Well, it didn't. Of course, it didn't happen until after we opened the door.
Yeah, it should start beeping immediately for a
Yeah.
whole minute.
Yeah, and it was.
Oh, okay.
But we heard it, and we're like,
So then Elliot called Shane. He's like looking at me. I was like, I don't know. He's like,
Well, I call Shane, and
No answer.
Nothing.
I answered.
no, you didn't.
No,
Not
you
on the first time.
The first time.
Really?
First time I called, nothing. Second time I called, he answers, I can't hear you.
I have a missed call.
I can't hear you. I'm like, your alarm is going off. He's like, all right, bye.
So then it went from a loud, high pitched beep, just beep, like all over the house, to like beep beep beep. And it looked like I thought Shane had like unset the alarm remotely, and then you just hear this like big deep voice. So it's a security. Identify yourself.
I'm sitting there texting Shane, alarm code, your alarm code. It went off. It was set. So he sends it to me, and I let the guy know what it is. And
I can't believe he bought that. Like what?
I was like,
He didn't. It wasn't that he bought it. So as the guy was, he said identify yourself like 3 times, and it's like dead silence on our end. We didn't say
suspicious.
we didn't say anything. But then
They
like,
can see you. You
but
know
then
that, right?
Got the code.
Like through that panel, they're watching you.
Well, they weren't watching me. I wasn't on.
You
I
were in
wasn't
front
in
of that
view.
panel,
I was
they're
not.
watching
I
you.
was at the stairs.
Oh yeah, no.
But you finally sent Elliot the code. So Elliot's like puts in the code, and then it stops. And then the
It
guy
disarms.
comes. Then Elliot's like, "Hello," and the guy's like, "Yeah, identify yourself."
I
And
said, the owner is Shane Dorr. The code is this. I'm his neighbor. He told me to come over and check on his cats.
And he was
How are
like-
they doing?
And then he was like, "Oh, well, we can see that you just disarmed the alarm.
yeah.
Like you're good to go. Thank you."
Yeah. So I was like, whew. He said, we'll cancel dispatch.
They were on their way. Kershaw County's finest.
So yeah, we
I
about to
pictured like guns popping out of the ceiling.
That wouldn't have been good.
like Spy
boys.
Kids.
That would not have been good.
Mission
Like if
Impossible.
Kershaw County came out here, that wouldn't have been good. Like, yeah. Identify yourself.
I'm like, Batman on the other end. Identify yourself.
Why are you here? Well, I think they actually train them to, from what I've heard and read, that they actually train them to not disguise their voice, but like.
Oh, his voice was definitely different once Elliot
Yeah, of course.
put in the alarm. Oh, I can see that you. I can see that you disarmed your alarm. Okay, thank you.
You're good.
It's like,
man.
It's like Luchasaurus with the mask and without the mask.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hey guys.
So, guys, let me
Isn't
tell
his
you
name
about my
Austin?
story. Huh?
His name Austin.
Austin.
Yeah.
Austin. Let me tell you about my story. So, when was this? I was coming home late the other night for the movie. I went and saw, we'll talk about that later. I went and saw a movie. Before I leave for the movie, my wife decides to tell me, watch out for deer. Okay. Perfect.
Good
Hey,
advice.
Good, great. Great. She really needs to tell that to Lindsay. But she told it to me. Sure enough. Come home.
Oh yeah, you would be cars.
Huh? Yeah, right, exactly. Watch out for other people.
Anything but deer.
Yeah. I never, well, I haven't hit a deer in a long time. So this one hit me. So I'm driving. Bro, I've never seen this before. I'm literally like not distracted for once, not even a drink, not even food, no phone.
You mean just a regular drink?
I'm actually-
I was like, what?
No, I'm driving normal, a legal drink in a car, operating. I'm driving normally 60 miles an hour on a road,
10 and 2.
looking straight ahead. Both hands are on the wheel. That's never happening.
Ah,
It's true. It's true.
you lost me there.
It's true. And then all of a sudden, this deer comes out of the woods and just runs into me. I kid you not. Just runs to the side of me, hooks his antler while I'm going 60 miles an hour into my my headlight. Didn't damage the car at all. Just hits the headlight and pops the headlight out. So the headlight's dangling, you know. I put it back in. I push the headlight back in. It clicks and pops and stays in. So today, driving on Forest Drive in Columbia, and I had to hit my brakes really quickly because this car cut me off in oncoming traffic. So I slammed on the brakes and the headlight went flying. I'm on the phone with my boss at the time. This was illegal, but I was talking on the phone while I'm driving the car on Forest Drive, and I'm like, "Oh crap!" I slam on the brakes, and you see my headlight just shoot out like a dart off my car, and it goes probably 5 or 6 car lengths ahead. And then I'm like, "Oh crap, Desiree!" She's like, "What?" I said, and ran over it. I'm like, "Nothing." So I'm watching all these cars behind me, and I can see all the drivers, and they're just like. The guy in Happy Gilmore, you know, the big eyes and the head shake. Yeah. Oh,
It's
God.
It's like when Happy Sand got run over.
Don't worry. It's made of wood. Real sturdy. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I apologize for today's drink of choice, Jonathan.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Oh, well, I don't know. Ask Elliot because he's heard me over there.
Well,
And
I'm mad you filled up like a double shot. So not only did
Oh,
you
I
just
didn't even
throw
realize
stuff
that.
in there, you just
it's clear. So you're good with a little brown tint. So
mine has a yellowish tint to it.
that's the cup. The cup's yellow.
Oh, yeah, because his is pink.
Yeah. Don't worry. They're the same. Pickle juice and Pepsi.
Oh, gosh. Peepsy.
I'm
Pickle
out.
juice and Peepsy.
It'll sit there the whole show.
So run it by Elliot. What are we doing? And then let's
Yeah, man.
Let's
So
finish this.
this is one of our favorite segments of the show. Spirits with Shane. He's curated. What did you curate tonight? Oh, you got to shoot first, and then you'll tell us.
if I could remember what.
Oh,
You literally
gosh.
just made it.
Yeah, but you don't understand.
He-
You don't understand.
So we were
I was panicking.
all panicking for multiple reasons. So Shane just curated, and
I don't know.
did you put any ghost in it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's got ghost in it.
Yeah. That's what actually probably most of it is.
That can didn't look open when you sat down.
No,
It's good.
he popped it open up there.
It's good.
Okay.
Everything's good. Ready?
No.
Okay. So I don't know what this is, but this is gonna be Shane's specialty. We'll call it that. What are you doing? Is that your
I was
chaser?
getting my chaser ready, but I
So
asked you for a bottle of water and you didn't get me one.
Oh, I got Crown Apple or Coke Zero Sugar. If
Water,
you'd like.
cold, preferably.
I'd have to leave the show. I can't do that to my people. Here we go.
I can.
Be right back. All right, so it's gonna be bad. Shane's specialty. There you go. Okay.
Well,
It's weird. It's not the weirdest, not the worst one I've had on the show.
No, not by any means.
I've made
was
much worse.
It was okay. I could drink more.
Very weird. Okay.
I'd really pretty much just taste the ghost though.
Oh, good. Good. Because
what was that? That's the blue sour. What is that?
Swedish fish.
Oh, that's the worst one.
It's not that bad.
I don't like Swedish fish, so
It was very sweet. This almost tastes like some
it's
sort of cough
sweet-ish.
medicine. You are an idiot. This is almost it tastes like a cough medicine. You know, like an antihistamine.
Nothing like some good old tussing going down.
It was really just it was green apple vodka, triple sec, Swedish fish, ghost topped with a little bit of Disaronno and Reno. So it was a bunch of sweet stuff. So it was supposed to be sweet. I'll take it. I've had much worse. That curdling drink that we had that one week.
Yeah, not a fan. Or the drink that we had the following Sunday that wasn't part of the show. That one was gross.
Was it curdling?
Yeah.
that was
Yeah. So I've
What
learned.
me, you, and Lindsay had.
Oh yeah. It was the texture. I remember your wife shot it. She's all,
I can't.
she was like almost projectile vomiting while drinking the thing.
The texture was vomit before the vomit came up.
It was bad.
It
It
was
was
bad.
thick. Just thinking about it.
That's funny.
No.
I don't care who you are. That's funny right there.
Oh,
Anywho,
man.
so what we got on the docket today, fellas? We are just less than a month away from
Oh yeah, let's spend some time. Let's spend some time on
PCW.
Palmetto, man. So shout out to Raymond Escoto. Huge shout out to Raymond. If y'all aren't familiar, so we actually went through the acquisition process. It's so weird how it all happened. Just impeccable timing. But we were going through the official process of acquiring PCW, us three, and during that time, while we were working toward the official, acquisition date, we get a message from an up and coming reporter or a student reporter at USC, right?
Yep.
And he's just big into pro wrestling and somehow found us and wanted to interview us about our experience in pro wrestling.
Billy just said he missed work on Sunday after you left.
It wasn't that Sunday, Billy. So Raymond reached out to us on our PCW page and just started talking to us about an upcoming report he wanted to write about pro wrestling, independent wrestling specifically. So we're like, yeah, we can do it. But hey, we want to let you know that this is the status of the company, and if you want to meet us out there on that certain day to take pictures of the actual interaction and acquisition with the previous owner, we'd love to have you. So he met us out there, took pictures, and during that time we've had 2 or 3 interviews with him.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen it yet, he wrote I would call fantastic, amazing article on Palmetto Championship Wrestling, its inception, its where it's gone to, and its current status with Jonathan Elliott and myself as owners. So I thought it was really good. So if you get a chance, check out the PCW page or one of our personal pages. We shared it. It's actually a really, really good read.
It was. I read it on the quick break I had today.
Yeah.
It was actually, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very thorough, very, very in depth. I did not expect it to go like that in detail. It was fantastic.
Cheryl says, "Woot woot, y'all are going to do big things, man."
Dang it, Cheryl, you know it. She's awake. What are you doing up?
Listen, she
Billy let her out of the bed.
you have no idea. You have no idea how close I was to saying, "Dang it, Cheryl," when your alarm was going off.
Sir, that is the wrong code. Dispatch on the way. But
I know Lee Bone.
but I don't know about y'all, but I'm ecstatic, man. I've talked to several people in the county that aren't necessarily like they know what we do. They don't follow us per se, but they've been telling me that they've been seeing it on social media wise, 'cause it's the only way we've been able to get it out there for right now. But social media, they've been seeing it every time they open up Facebook, it just flooding their feeds. So it seems like the overwhelming response has been positive. I mean,
A lot of buzz around the flyer too. Everybody thinks it's
man, another shout out to Brad Joyner.
Pretty big hit.
Yes.
That flyer is stunning. It's gonna look good on a shirt too.
I actually have the posters with me.
Well, I think we should like unveil it on the show. I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it yet, Elliot?
Yeah, I have.
Jealous.
Jelly. And in case you're
good?
wondering what we're talking about
Oh yeah.
PCW Super Smash Ball, Saturday, April 15th.
Yes.
In the Old Army Gymnasium, 1034 West DeKalb Street, Camden. We have VIP general admission. VIP admission is at 6 p.m. General admission at 6:30. And you can get your tickets at pcw.ticketspice.com/PCW.
And that is going to be, that's actually going to be the limited edition flyer, right? That's going to be, they will be on sale at the show or they're available for pre-order. It's part of the VIP package. Those are nice. Definitely look really good.
They turned out well.
So what do you think, guys? You excited? The family's excited? Asher, Trevor, Danielle?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can speak for Asher. I can't speak for Trevor and Danielle.
Oh, in Lindsay.
Yep.
Everybody excited?
Yeah. Let's see here.
I mean, my wife has shared it more on
I
mean, like
know.
social media is only really what we've been able to do promote that wise so
Right
far,
now.
or word of mouth. But my wife has shared it more than I have.
Yeah, she's been on it, bro.
She's excited. Her family, because her, I mean, she's from Kershaw County, so, or the city of Kershaw, but all her family's from around here, so pretty big deal. I mean, they're all excited. I think a lot of her family is going to come to the show.
That's so awesome.
Catching up on some comments real quick. Cheryl says, I am awake this time. I wasn't feeling so great last week, but I still subconsciously listened.
Yeah, so we heard. So we heard.
We heard.
What did Billy say?
Billy was saying. So Billy and Cheryl, we were talking Sunday, and they were like, "Yeah." Whenever you said, "Dang it, Cheryl," Cheryl's is over there asleep all of a sudden. She says,
I missed that.
Oh,
yeah,
hearing Billy tell it was even funnier.
Billy says, "I'm going to be your biggest fan. 3 best friends doing something they love and participating in creative, mind-blowing work. Let's go. I'm beyond ecstatic, man. We love you, Billy."
Let's see the subliminal message he put. Mind-blowing work. There's a message there, Billy. I see what you did there. That's funny. Cheers to you.
Work.
Yeah.
We I think that's what makes it the most fun and most rewarding, man. Is when you have three people with three completely different creative spectrums and one shared vision. I always emphasize that statement, one shared vision, because our vision is the same. But we have like 3 different ideas and we just put them together and make something happen. And it's pretty amazing.
Balance each other out pretty well.
We really do.
Even when we do want to fight each other.
All the time. Just kidding.
Hey, but you know what? Hey, it's gotten better. And like it was just that first.
We had to get to
first initial. Had to get past that little.
Well,
guys, we haven't even announced the show. We can't even get the times in the door right.
Wait,
that's how it sounds like.
But strength of his friendship, a relationship, friendship, whatever type of relationship that doesn't have its disputes, disagreements, or whatever, won't stand the test of time. So I think we're doing pretty good in regards to being able to stand the test of time.
I think we are all right. It's been fun.
Billy says 3 Stooges. The question is, who's Larry, who's Curly, and who's Mo? You'll have to answer that.
I'm definitely the yeah, that one there. That's like Richard Museums. He looks just like Richard.
That's who I thought was going to show up when the security guard went off.
Richard Museums?
Yeah. Mall cop.
I was a cop in Jersey.
Freeze! I can't shoot straight.
Why'd you do your eyes like that?
Huh? What?
Why'd you do your eyes like that?
Richard.
I know, but you didn't have to do it.
But it makes it more.
Oh gosh,
What? Freeze!
I feel so bad.
No, he knows it's true. Oh
He
man.
texted me the other day.
What?
Yeah.
I ain't heard from him forever. He don't care about me no more.
Yeah, he texted me.
Sure don't.
You know, when I was talking about
What?
when I was, I mentioned my weight loss and stuff online, and he texted me. He said, "Hey Elliot, I lost 50 pounds." I mean, I'm assuming that's how he's talking.
Oh,
He's
definitely speaking to text.
and he asked me if I was diabetic or not, because he told me that Manjaro helped him a lot. So I'm not diabetic, thankfully. So, but
Oh, Richard. Oh,
freeze! Oh man. Anywho, so
he looks like Penguin, Batman. Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, Cobblepot.
He is a cobblepot.
So
PCW.
Jonathan. Well, yeah, we can go to the PCW yet. I don't know if Jonathan had anything that he might want to do, like this or that, or
No, well, we can finish talking about PCW first.
Are we done? I'm giddy, man. I'm over the moon. I think about it every day. Any waking moment I get, I'm ecstatic just to see what happens, what we can do with it, how the Kershaw County community responds,
I mean,
how it builds.
we've got some pretty good talent on that flyer. We got the Heat Seekers.
Yeah, which y'all, if you're not familiar with the Heat Seekers, they've been with PCW a couple times, but they're actually one of the more prestigious tag teams in all of independent wrestling. These guys are Matt and his brother, Matt and Elliot, are two of the most outstanding human beings and overall talents, and have worked with some of the biggest names.
Matt has a pretty good podcast too called Wrestling with the Mind. where he
Yeah,
talks
I
about
heard
mental
it's
health.
superb.
Yep.
And he launched that somewhat recently, right?
Yeah, probably about a month or two ago.
And seeing him share the flyer, and he said something about, man, I've been on thousands of flyers, and this might be my favorite yet. When you get that kind of response from somebody that's been on that many flyers for some major companies.
These are guys who are like close friends with Ricky Morton.
Yes, very close.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
And stay tuned. So we have some big ideas for some future flyers, show themes.
Ooh. But I definitely think, this is just me, but I think PCW is at its best graphically and creatively when we parody stuff or relate something to something in pop culture that is just, when you see it, you can recognize it. I just think,
I love parody stuff.
oh,
I mean,
when it's done
that's
right.
That's my favorite thing.
There's a difference between parodying and ripping off.
Yeah, like Great Balls of Fire, WWE. That was Great Balls of Fire.
That was awful.
It was.
I remember watching the talent have to say the name of the show on TV. It was hilarious every time because they wanted to crack. But I'm excited, man. I'm thrilled to do it with best friends, have the families incorporated, bring it home, and I'm pretty stoked.
The three best friends that anybody could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends that anyone can have. And we'll never, ever, 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 ever leave each other.
All right, guys, I'm out.
I was a one-man wolf pack. What about you, Jonathan? What are you looking most forward to?
No, I'm excited. I like announcing the show was definitely a big that
was a relief.
weight off my
Yeah,
shoulders, a
yeah.
big relief. Like it was just, I feel like that was what made it official, even though we had already had it official for a couple weeks. I don't know. I'm just excited to be a part. Like it's been exciting these last week or so, just talking to people about the flyer, whether it be the flyer, the venue, the show. Like we just kind of what we've done so far. I mean, it's come up naturally in conversation that didn't have anything to do with wrestling.
Amazing how that works.
Like I mean, I told Elliot the story earlier. A customer came in today at work, and
Oh yeah, this
his
is good.
email. So like, you know, we're obviously want to have good merch at the show, so we've been trying to like, you know, check out some t-shirt vendors and stuff like that, and see what, you know, what kind of pricing we can get in shirts. And I was filling out his information, asked for his email, and he was like, t-shirt printing thing, you know, like it was in his email. And I was like, well, that's kind of, I was like, I have to get your card. You know, me and a few buddies are looking at possibly getting some shirts made. And he was like, oh, and then he kind of asked a question. I was like, well, I kind of just went through the story about you on it, you know, you starting PCW, selling it, and then us reacquiring it. And I was like, you know, we're trying to do it, you know, we're trying to do some different things. So we want to have a good lineup. And he was like, oh man, his daughter was with him. I mean, she's older, but he was like, oh, she loves wrestling. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. Me and my mom go up to North Carolina every month and watch AML.
What?
And I was like, what?
Shout out to Tracy and Brian.
I was like, that's awesome. I was like, I actually know the, you know, like know the owner. And then he said Tracy. I was like, yeah. He was like, oh man, that's a small world. And then he went on and was talking stories about George South, and like the daughter had a one of a kind George South figure that he had gave her personally that like never made it into production. Like it was weird. Like it was the whole, but it all started like just naturally. I was like, that's wild.
That gave me chills.
It was
make sure you I would do a post and tag Tracy and Brian, because they would love to hear that kind of stuff, man.
so that was, you know,
Just
stuff
goes to
like
show
things
how-
like that, or
How much impact you have.
make me more excited
Cheryl said Cece's Boutique Designs.
What, Cheryl?
for shirts.
Oh, I was like, who's that?
Cheryl, why don't you send us a Facebook message?
But yeah, so that, I mean, that was interesting. I mean, it just, you know, like I said, it wasn't like I was promoting the show. I mean,
Show promotes
just asking about, you know, it just happened to come up, and I was like, man, that's kind of wild, you know, that, I mean, and that they would know him by name. I mean, he knew he said Tracy. They were talking about George South. So I was like, oh, that's, you know, so then he's coming back in there tomorrow. I told him, you know, I'd have a flyer ready for him. So they're probably coming to the show.
Heck yeah, bro. And it's in Camden, man. Like all those people from the PD can make it. Like it's not far. Where's he from? Florence?
Mhm.
Yeah, what was that, 40 minutes for them?
Yeah, it's longer to Winston-Salem than it is to
Heck,
Camden.
Wow, that's gonna be fantastic. And you'll see a lot of people that at times familiar with from AML. You know, maybe a brother tag team at some point. It's synonymous with AML.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
I wonder who that could be.
That that's gonna happen. We're gonna go ahead and say that. But anyway, Elliot, where are we heading to next?
The old Armory Gymnasium
Oh yeah,
in Camden, South Carolina. No, I'm excited, man. It's gonna be good. I'm excited to wear a different hat in regards to.
I got you some coming.
Hey. Wear a different hat, and in regards to the company, I'm also ready to get back into the ring. I've missed the crowd.
I'm gonna be interested to see you on a show day. I'm gonna be interested, real interested.
Wow.
Watching how you do both. I'm gonna be interested because I know how passionate you are about everything you do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna watch you tweak in the ring.
Here's a
When-
butthole.
You're gonna be ring announcing, but you're gonna see something.
Hey, kids, sit down.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I know it. It's gonna be funny to watch.
Nah, showtime comes. I'll have to put on my my entertainer hat.
I remember trying that once.
Well,
Then you see some things, you're like, nope. Call up old Ron Emerson.
Ron, I need you to announce.
But you got this or that this week?
I do not. I mean, but Elliot had some topics that he was discussing earlier. So
Yeah, so we were discussing some stuff earlier on the Round
boy.
Table Rumble.
I feel-
And something that
we haven't done this or that in a couple weeks. I gotta
couple weeks,
prepare again.
month and a half.
two things that we were talking about. Well, actually 5 things we were talking about.
Jeez.
On the Round Table Rumble. We got 2 while I was on there, but it was the GOATs. We've touched on some of it before, but one of the questions that was asked was
LeBron James.
no. First question was asked was greatest manager of all time, and there were pretty much 2 synonymous. Greatest manager of all time. But before we start, guys, this is this or that. It's the greatest manager of all time. Who you got?
1 or 2?
Just one first.
Oh, Bobby the Brain Heenan. That's not even close.
That was mine.
The Weasel, bro. I mean, think about all the people he's managed in his career
So
and the impact he's had in the roles he's been in. It's not even close.
So that was that, and the other one was Paul Heyman. Those 2 were unanimous across the board. It was kind of split for me. I can't say Bobby the Brain Heenan because I don't remember him as a manager. And I haven't watched any of his stuff.
Wow.
I remember him as a commentator, and I think he's by far one of the greatest commentators ever.
Picture that, but even better.
I would say that's an odd comment because you're the oldest out of the 3 of us here, and I definitely remember him being a manager.
I don't.
Oh, yeah. Well, he might have been not just paying attention to the manager. You'd watch it different now, like knowing the importance of a manager.
Yeah.
You would be like, yeah, he's.
I don't remember
Paul
him as a
Heyman.
manager, but I also
with Henning, Flair, Rude,
Andre the Giant.
see. I don't. So didn't have WWF growing up. I didn't have cable until I was 18. So everything I watched was Saturday morning WCW.
I don't. That Paul Heyman one's bothered me. Like, greatest of all time.
That was unanimous across the board as one of the greatest of all time.
Then someone was Heyman, and Bobby's first by a lot, but Heyman would be second.
Later, someone said, "Well, don't forget about Mr. Fuji." I was like, "I forgot about Mr. Fuji."
Sherry,
Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart's fantastic. A guy by the name of Jim Cornette. There's no friggin' way you put Paul Heyman above Jim Cornette. No way.
Well, I even said, that
tennis racket, baby. Come on.
So I remembered Harley Race as a manager.
On what you really look for in a manager, because to me, Cornette was loud, but
he was the
Heyman is the mouthpiece. Like, you could put Heyman with somebody that couldn't cut a promo, and it would complete the puzzle.
And that was their argument. Everyone Heyman has been with, he's elevated
by a lot.
And that was, even whenever it was Paulie Dangerously and the skyscrapers, what they were called, Twin Towers, what they're called, with Mark Calloway and what's his name,
Twin Towers.
He even elevated them. So that was the
he played a large part in getting
Taker to
WWE whenever he was in WCW as Calloway, because he just knew that he was like, they don't know what to do with you.
Yep.
So here's Bleacher Report. So
I don't care about Bleacher Report.
Well, no. This is accurate. Number 1, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Number 1. I think that's pretty across the board. Jim Cornette, Captain Lou Albano, Jimmy Hart, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's top 5. I would say that's fair.
See, I don't know Lou. I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do. You've
seen him.
You know Captain Lou Albano. He was always with
was he with the
Samoans and Head Shrinkers?
Okay.
Yeah. Classy Freddie Blassie, Paul Bearer, Miss Elizabeth,
Sherry's not on there.
Sensational Sherry, and James J. Dillon.
So someone mentioned J.J. Dillon.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
Someone mentioned J.J. Dillon as one of them.
But it's just hard for me to put Paul Heyman, man, greatest of all time.
Well,
I don't know.
Again,
greatest with a microphone? Yeah, but manager? There's a lot of things that go
into it. So one of the questions, the next question that was asked was greatest match of all time. And originally,
it's a good one.
For me, my first inclination is to go Taker versus Shawn. WrestleMania 25, I believe.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I said, but before that, someone mentioned Omega versus Okada.
Okay.
And how it just completely.
Which one?
Was the last one?
Both of them were, or the 2 that I can think of were fantastic.
He said it was the last one. He said they had 3 matches before, and that one finally closed the book on it. so after you said that, I was like, you know what? When I think back to matches that really stick out, because it's all opinion, it really
It's
stick
all about
out.
what you like, really.
That stick out as one of the greatest of all time. It's hard for me in recent history to think of a match and not say Omega versus Ospreay. That hasn't completely captivated every part of me.
Okay.
From how long the storyline's been,
Yeah.
To real or fake heat, however you want to look at it, to finally finishing up in a ring, in front of a huge crowd, and really at the end of it, seeing everything was left out there.
It's a good one. I like anything with Ospreay, Omega, Okada, all those guys. But I'm gonna go a little different route. So my personal
Someone says Steamboat Flair.
WrestleMania, is that WrestleMania 3? Steamboat Flair or WrestleMania 1? That's one of the first 3. Who said that?
Well, no, they said it in the previous one.
Yeah, I think it was WrestleMania 3. That was the same. I think it was the same show as Andre Hogan. WrestleMania 3. But I honestly think my favorite match of all time is a WWE match. Surprise! It's actually WrestleMania 17. Rock versus Hogan. That match is a roller coaster of emotions to the point where the heels to face in Canada. Crowd turned on Rocky big time. And the way they worked that match and the way they did certain things and the timing of certain things, it was just magical, man. And you go back and watch that match in its entirety. From Hogan called these spots supposedly, but the initial lockup and then the push off of Rocky flips up. Hogan does the whole
flexing.
oh my gosh, man. You're hating Hogan going into that match, but you see Hogan do that and you're like, you're ripping off your shirt, bro, in your living room.
That's because you knew then, all right, the turn is going to happen.
Oh, it was beautiful. And it set up for the inevitable return of Red and Yellow, the Hulkamania run. So there was a lot of implications from that match, and the match.
Not forget Mr. America.
Or forget Mr. America. Either way. Which brought in a guy by the name of Zach Gowen, the one-legged wrestler, who's still doing big things on the independents, and he's fantastic. But yeah, that's my favorite match of all time. Just everything about it. It was just, I thought it was beautiful.
So
did anybody mention that in that?
Well, they may have. I had to leave to get over here, and get everything set up. But someone had mentioned Taker versus Mankind Hell in a Cell at King of the Ring.
Greatest match of all time? Nah. Greatest spot of all time? Probably so. Greatest accident of all time? Probably so.
I don't know if anyone said this. Alora from Peaches and Pile Bombs mentioned for her being as she's someone who wrote and covered women's wrestling for a minute. Sasha Banks versus Bayley at NXT Takeover.
Fantastic. It was a spectacular match. But I would say my favorite match to fill you in was Rock Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17.
No, you said Rock Hogan.
Rock Hogan, I'm sorry.
Favorite or greatest? Two different things.
Greatest. For me, greatest. And I went to you'll have to go back and listen to it because I'm not gonna explain myself again. But it's
we're at minute 40. You can just go back about a minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah, I talked a lot about it, but definitely to me my greatest match of all time for all those reasons. But yeah.
Somebody mentioned, or I don't know if they mentioned this, but I was expecting someone to maybe mention Stone Cold versus Brett Survivor Series.
I'm not. I guess. I mean, there's different tastes. You know, people have different tastes, different things.
I was expecting also Stone Cold versus The Rock in one of the WrestleManias. Yeah,
they were always fun to watch.
So, what were some of the other ones that were mentioned?
So, ones they mentioned was Okada versus Omega. I mentioned Omega versus Osprey back in January. Allure from Peaches and Powerbomb mentioned Bailey versus Sasha Banks.
Ladder match with Razor and Sean was a lot of fun. It could definitely be in the conversation.
And I think that was it. I think that was all I heard.
I don't know. I mean, to me, Taker, like every time that comment comes up, like you said, I mean, Taker, Sean, immediately what comes to my mind.
Heck, you could go back to Sting versus Flair back in what? NWA days?
Yeah, I mean, Sting's matches were amazing. Him and Muda were amazing. I don't know. It's interesting. Taker and Sean is by far, WrestleMania 25 was by far probably one of my favorite matches of all time. I don't know why. Like, there's been so many.
See, it's not one of my favorite matches.
It's been what? How long ago? We're wrestling 12, 13 years?
Yeah, something like that.
But man, I can remember the match fresh, like from bell to bell.
I mean,
the spot, the dive,
the entrances. I mean, the color. I mean, Sean coming from the top with the white and gold. Taker's
from hell.
Yeah, I mean, it like all of it from top to bottom was. Yeah, it really made you question too, because I mean, Sean was Mr. WrestleMania, the streak. I mean, there was a lot of little things kind of tied into the match.
Have you watched that match? Have you watched that match in its entirety from bell to bell?
I mean, I haven't
or just
recently.
pieces?
I haven't recently.
Because I watch a lot of matches like with highlights, but you just can't get the full feeling of the match.
I mean, the second one was good too, but it was just something about that first one where it was, I don't know.
Like the Cody and Seth thing sticks out to me too. The Cody return. I'm not gonna put it in the conversation, but mainly because that entrance of Cody, like that return, there's from entrance to entrance, man. There's just.
Well, see, that's why that's why I said favorite or greatest, because.
But I'm sticking with my greatest.
In my mind, like when I think of, greatest, like favorite matches. I mean, even though now that I'm older, the outcome and just hearing all the stories behind it just make me mad more than anything else. But like this was almost 25 years ago. I can remember where I was at, what I was doing, like almost every detail about what was going on when I saw Sting versus Hogan at Starrcade.
97.
On pay-per-view, stayed up late. I mean, all of it. I like visually. I mean, I can, it's clear as day. So, like, I mean, that falls in that category to me. But I wouldn't say it's the greatest match. I mean, it's one of my favorites, but just because I can remember it. But there's a lot. I mean, like Brett versus Sean, the Iron Man match we talked about last week. That's one of mine.
Remember Owen and Brett in the cage?
I mean, Mr. Perfect and Brett had some killer matches.
How have we mentioned the match with Macho Man? Did we mention that one? Macho Man and Steamboat? Oh, that's up there. That's in the conversation as greatest of all time.
I got reminded of a match. How about Kane versus Taker? The first time around.
The Inferno match?
No, at WrestleMania. It wasn't an Inferno match. It was the Inferno match was later. But Kane versus Taker was one of those things that Kane was massive. I mean, he was being built like crazy. And the whole storyline of everything with people could relate to it, the brother and all that. And I got reminded of it whenever I was watching the autobiography of Kane the other night.
Was Kane in a mask?
Mm-hmm.
So this is before WrestleMania 20.
Wait, but he's talking about the very first time that they fought.
First time they fought
at
at WrestleMania.
Maybe WrestleMania 15. I can't remember. That was the one that took like 3 tombstones or something, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay. I sort of remember it.
I mean,
Kane was huge.
Like I love going back, and there's I can't remember what pay-per-view it was at, but Triple H versus Batista, Hell in a Cell. Fantastic, like from a storytelling standpoint.
Oh, I love Trips, man. Speaking of Batista, man, was he supposed to be in the Hall of Fame? Or wasn't? How was that supposed to be
I
happening?
think he's going to be the headliner at the end.
At the end? They should announce the headline first. But how can you put Batista in the Hall of Fame with Muda?
Well,
how can you put Muda, the great Muda? How can you have Batista?
But Muda wasn't Muda in WWE. Like
Muda wasn't anything in WWE.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
it's-
WWE Hall of Fame.
Okay, then Muda shouldn't in that argument. Muda shouldn't be going in the Hall of Fame. Then
You said it, not me.
that's awful. But Batista can't headline a Hall of Fame class with Muda going in. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Didn't you see how they even announced Muda?
technically, Batista's already been.
Kajimuto.
But I mean, like, how they didn't? I mean, they didn't do it on the show.
So
Technic-
Kajimuto will be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Technically, Batista's already in the Hall of Fame. He just hasn't had a ceremony. He's already been inducted. So I don't know what they're doing. Somebody else got announced to the Hall of Fame. Rey Mysterio.
One of 3 active roster members to be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Let me think. Edge.
No.
Edge is active.
No, but he wasn't active when he got inducted.
Taker.
Nope.
Who was active in Goldberg?
One. It's one of them.
Goldberg. Trips.
I mean, Sting got
Hurt. Oh,
in the Hall of Fame first, and then wrestled.
so he wasn't active.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Woo!
Of course. Flair.
Ric Flair.
God, did you see the stuff between him and Dutch Mantel?
So
Oh my
Flair is supposed to be
God.
the one to announce Muda, and he's supposed to announce it tomorrow on the bump.
Yeah.
It's not.
I read the report that Flair begged to do it. I'm like, oh, of course he did. Of course he did.
One last match.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh. I'm here to tell
Doing
you.
it as only as he can do it.
Sound like Bobby Boucher.
What else? That's it for this or that.
Yeah. More this or that.
Oh, I do at one point soon.
Mhm.
Mr. Billy Fox shared a bracket, a tag team like bracketology thing with greatest tag teams of all time. So we took note of it. So we need to go through that. Maybe narrow it down a little bit. Maybe not do the whole 64,
That would take a long time.
but narrow it down and do like our take on what we think the bracket should look like.
We could do it weekly. Do a bracket weekly, especially with March Madness. Come on.
I'd have to watch a lot of back matches to fill myself in on some of those tag teams.
What are back matches?
Past. Back matches. Back fill. Back. Pass.
Got it.
I mean, March Madness is coming
Jesus.
up, or March Madness happens tonight. Yeah.
First 4 was today. The actual tournament starts Thursday.
We could always
Go USC women's Gamecocks.
Yep.
They're unstoppable. They are nasty, bro.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They haven't. I mean, Ole Miss was the only team that's kind of somewhat challenged them this year, from what I remember.
I think they was in single digits.
Yeah,
Might have been 9.
it was close all the way up to the very end. And free throws, man. Free throws will win the ball game.
Or lose.
It's facts.
Shaq at the line.
Shooting 1-and-1. Hey, we get the ball back. What else we got? We got AEW.
Mm-hmm.
You know, MJF with his bar mitzvah celebration, bar mitzvah.
That's gonna be pretty funny.
The pictures from the original bar mitzvah.
They have to be doctored.
You think so?
They have to be.
That's what I thought when I
They're
first
too
saw the
perfect.
very first picture that like had the girls in it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's fake. But then I was looking at some of the other pictures and I was like, I don't know.
Maximania.
There was a lot of detail in there for them to make those fake pictures.
Oh,
I mean,
but that's
like the ticket stubs for it was like WrestleMania 25. It had the star logo, Cowboys logo. It had all the like different Max versus Shawn, Max versus Taker.
regardless, it's got us intrigued and got us talking about it. That's all that matters, whether it's fake or not. But
So 25 was how many years ago?
14, 39,
Okay, so 14.
close.
MJF would have been 12. then for his
But,
bar
I mean,
mitzvah.
everything's
So it's
everything's perfect.
It was just that very first picture looked like I was like, okay, they doctored this photo a little bit, but the other ones that he shared, I mean, look legit.
Does make me laugh.
He was like, he wasn't gonna call out no names because he had respect for the guy, but he was like, I was doing the upside down logo way before somebody else was. That's what the Miz uses.
Mhm. Oh gosh, MJF. Billy says, so I think Taz and Shivani had a confrontation at Revolution and spilled out to Rampage. There was I think I heard them. It was
God,
I
this is gonna return to an ECW return. All these guys are gonna come out.
It was definitely on one of them where the way they were at, and it was like, man, something's fishy going on here. And I think
didn't get a chance to watch Rampage, so I don't know.
no, I didn't get to watch Rampage this past week either.
It's taped.
Let's see. So I think the way they were talking to each other was extremely weird. That's what he said. Yeah, I got that on Revolution. It might have been the Rampage of 4. I don't remember it happened this past week. Who wrestled this past week? I did watch some of Rampage this past week. I just don't
That's
remember.
not a good sign.
I just don't remember it.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. It's not a good sign.
I mean, it's hard for me to stay focused on a 10 o'clock show.
So a couple things. I mean, what about a couple things that interested me? One is Bray Wyatt. We talk about it every week. Unless you want to keep talking about Dynamite.
Bro, he didn't show up.
It's awful.
He's like, I'm out.
I don't know. I mean,
He's injured. He's quote unquote injured.
Sure he is.
Yeah.
It's all weird, right? We'll get back to the Dynamite stuff, but it's just something I thought about, and I'll forget if I don't talk about it. But Bray Wyatt, man, like we've said for weeks that, like, bro, he has lost his luster. Something's happened.
Did Sean Ross Sapp ever come out? Because he made a post and said that was like, hey,
Beyond his paywall, I'm not paying that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's always behind his paywall. I'm paying for that. Sean Ross Sapp. Love you, mean it, but no.
You say love you, mean it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sean Ross Sapp. I love the guy. But I don't know what it's been. Is it the return of Vince and creative? Does that got something to do with it?
Is it the selling of the company? That got something to do with
Something's completely almost buried Bray. Like buried. Like he's lost his magic. I don't know, his promos or his ability to cut promos or deliver them hasn't been the same. I don't know.
He's thinking.
It's been awful.
He's thinking, dang, I should have won AEW.
Maybe a lot of people are thinking,
Man,
that.
I should have won Impact.
Huh. So that's something that's been on my mind.
Yeah, that was quite interesting for sure. And I'll tell you something else I'm about tired of. I'm about tired of this Rey Mysterio condom thing.
I just like seeing you type that out. I laugh every time I read it.
Condom.
I'm like, is anybody else catching that? Yeah,
It's almost over. I think they're going to have a match.
well,
at
Ray's near
Mania.
the end, right? He's retiring.
They're definitely going to have a match at Mania. That's what it's culminating to. But gosh knows, I can't stand them.
You don't like you don't like Dom? I mean, I like Dom. He's gotten better.
I'm just
You don't like this teardrop?
I'm just done. No. Yeah, one life.
Somebody cut that. Somebody said it was an announcer. They're commentating. Yeah, all his time he did in the yard. He was in there for 10 minutes. He was bailed out. I don't know. It's just funny.
He was in there for 7 hours. Corey Graves.
It probably was Corey.
Yeah.
What else is happening? I did read the Bella twins. Interesting.
No longer the
Yeah.
Bellas.
They're done.
They're done. They have changed all their stuff. They're
Garcia twins.
And here's the thing. like Mercedes, in her own right,
Mhm.
the Bella twins, formerly known as the Bella twins, the Garcia twins, have a very, very deep involvement in things outside of pro wrestling. They're actually very, very popular. Contrary to opinion of their work in the ring, they have a following, right?
A big one.
And the fact that they're using another name raises some flags for me here.
Oh, for sure.
I'm like, okay, what are they about to do? If AEW would be smart to, if they want eyes on the product.
I think it comes down to Hall of Fame stuff. Well, and let's back up. Also, the Bella Twins have been very, very outspoken.
They're very loud
about some things.
Whose husband's in AEW?
I was gonna say that like we're missing the biggest
Come on.
part of the picture, but
Flair. Come on.
But Britt also posted a picture with the Bellas or the Garcia twins and just said, for real, there's not a single wrestler today who wasn't somehow inspired, influenced by Nikki and Brie. Thank you. Role models. So
there's a place for them in All Elite Wrestling. And I think Tony would be very wise to explore that. There's a lot of things I could think of that I would want them to do. And I dare say bringing them in collectively would be just as big or on the same level as Mercedes coming in their own right.
But do they still wrestle?
I wouldn't need them to. I would not need them to. Just a presence there. Imagine like Bree coming out to save Brian. He's getting beat down by maybe Adam and Britt or something. Even the odds.
Yeah. Have
Bree come in that way. Crowd would pop. Crowd would go nuts. There's just ways to do it. And then having, if Bree was getting beat down by women, then you introduce Nikki. Have her come save her. There's just ways to do it. I don't know if I'd want to see them like in the ring all the time, but I think it could be done tastefully and done well enough to make them look good.
Well, and speaking of Bryan Danielson, promo this past week, he quoted, "It's time for me to go home."
Yeah, you know what that is. That's exciting. He's honor. He's Ring of Honor. So that's going to be. I think Tony's about to put.
Is that what you think? So
yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. What did you think?
Just still
WWE.
I know. I just thought, man, he was taking a break. He was going home. See his wife and kids.
Maybe. But I think ultimately he's going Ring of Honor. I think Tony's about to really, with that new deal, TV deal, or whatever deal they got worked out with Ring of Honor.
New show.
Yeah.
AEW Collision.
It has to.
Potential.
It's
not official yet.
That's the rumor.
That's the Ring of Honor show they were talking about?
No, it's a new AEW show.
So there's a show I think they announced for the Honor Club for Ring of Honor, or the Ring of Honor's touring. Something they announced for Ring of Honor. I don't remember what it was. But ultimately, I think it's going to have see people like Bryan Danielson involved. Claudio.
I don't know what that was.
Your throat?
Yeah. What that was.
You okay, buddy? Dude, he looked around confused. I was like,
well, I heard it.
I was staring at him.
It was like delayed in my headphones, but it was weird that it came.
I was staring at you. I was like, what was that? He starts rubbing his throat.
What that was.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Something.
That's cool.
What was that?
I don't think. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. What else we got going on? Talked about Bryan Danielson, MJF. Well, you got what? Blackpool Combat Club with Mox, Claudio, and Utes.
So I thought a lot of people saying it was weird that they're pushing Claudio on Ring of Honor as a face, but then they're having him. I mean, he's been a face, but they made it. They've been building him up to be the face of Ring of Honor, and now he's like heel with BCC on AEW. That it just didn't fit right.
I think that's where, like, for Blackpool Combat Club, they're not heel nor face. They're just who they are.
I've lost interest in that stable. Regal being gone. I lost that. That lost his luster to me.
Well, I think the fact that Brian has never really done anything with him
It's
for
weird.
me is
It's been mostly Yuta, Claudio.
and that may be where you have Brian come into Ring of Honor and either A, help revive that, or B, face Claudio and say, hey, you're being a butthole type of thing.
So,
But Eddie.
I love Eddie. I do love Eddie. He's grown on me. He's really grown on me. I don't think he's the greatest worker, but man, his stuff is so friggin' believable. Like, I just believe, like, I believe in Eddie Kingston. Like,
He almost made that barbed wire death match believable.
that wasn't his fault. He heard the explosion and played dead. That's what he was supposed to do. God, watching that, boy, that's probably one of the greatest blunders of all time, bro.
I put that up there with Shockmaster.
It's up there.
I had tried. I shared it. In the
But the
Trevor.
thing is,
The painted
fact
glitter
that- the fact that you
stormtrooper
still-
mask.
the fact that you still talk about it to this day is not a bad thing.
Right? I mean,
It's almost 30 years.
Glitter painted stormtrooper mask was.
But I showed Trevor the video because he had not
It
seen
was
it,
a stormtrooper mask.
and I was the video.
You never realized that?
No,
Yeah.
I just remembered the glitter.
Glitter painted.
It was a stormtrooper mask. Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
But
Trevor.
I showed him the video, the barbed wire death match the other day, and I didn't know. I was like, "What? Tell me what you think about this."
Watch this finish, bro.
Played it, and it was like the countdown. Everything was all serious. It was like,
What
and
Trevor?
then you see like Kingston on the ground with his like looking up. There's nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. You said he heard the explosion. I don't know what he heard. It wasn't no explosion.
There was something that happened.
You heard a bottle rocket go off.
Trevor was like, "Yeah, I don't think that was supposed to happen that way."
Well,
Good call.
it's so funny too, man, because Kenny Omega talks about that. Like, there was an interview he just did recently where he, like, they asked him, like, well, what would you have done differently? And Kenny was like,
I made sure the pyro guy.
he goes, well, I would have made sure it went to effing plan for one, because what happened was, like, they had it all worked out what they wanted to do, and something happened between the company that was doing the pyro before the show. They fired them, so they weren't able to get the right person to operate something, and the rest is history.
Yup.
So it was definitely one to forget. I bet you that turned a lot of people off, though.
Yeah, probably for a while.
So it was just one of those things, man. Like, so Ring of Honor, is CM Punk staying or going with AEW or Ring of Honor, whatever in general? What's y'all's latest take on CM Punk? Phil Brooks.
I mean, I still think he's back at some point.
Think it's inevitable? I mean,
Yeah.
So I keep thinking about it, and like they don't mention him. The longer it goes, the more it dies down, I think. You know, as far as like everything that happened, but
Time and distance makes the heart grow fonder.
keep reading reports about him. There's been no what's the word?
Buyout agreement or anything.
No agreement with no conversations had between him and the elite, like no apology or anything like that. So just wonder what's going to come. Is he going to come back in All Elite Wrestling? Is it going to be Ring of Honor? Would he consider Ring of Honor a demotion? You
So
know?
if you were Tony,
Yeah.
and you wanted AEW to continue to grow,
And I might add, to add to your statement, and to extend on a TV deal.
and you were trying to, the elite contracts are coming up soon. So if you were negotiating with them and they said, "Hey, it's either Punk or us," what would you do if you were Tony?
Punk.
For business. I mean, personal feelings aside, what would be the best for business? What would, like, your honest opinion?
That's tough because, like, knowing what Kenny and the Bucks have, like with like the New Japan stuff, more of a world following, I think, than Punk. But Punk in the domestic audience, I think, brings more viewership than the Elite does. I do in the domestic. So it really depends on what's most important to Tony. Is it most important like international expansion or getting that Japan stuff? Because I think it's the Elite. If you care more about growing your domestic audience and becoming like a bigger company in the United States, you go with Punk. Look at age. Punk's up there. You know,
like if cooler heads,
Elite's a little younger.
Cooler heads don't prevail, and they are like, "Hey, we can't get it."
Here's a
What
question.
decision do you think would be made?
If do you think Punk could not get the Elite, but get Ospreay and United Empire?
And Ospreay's so young. Ospreay would be huge. I mean, I think he'd be bigger than.
I mean, you got to also remember that it's not. I mean, I know that Kenny, probably more than anybody else, is tied into New Japan stuff.
Oh yeah,
but Jericho's also up there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Jericho's got a lot of connections, and I mean, he's not going nowhere. So even if you lose Kenny, that doesn't necessarily mean that you lose the New Japan following.
No, I agree. I just think,
but WWE's not going to let Kenny work New Japan.
Maybe they work They let Shinsuke work with Muda. It can be worked out. It can be worked out.
That is not the same.
It can be worked out,
but it won't be worked out.
I don't know. I can't say that because we don't know what WWE is going to ultimately do. Maybe WWE under Vince might have not let it happen, but I wholeheartedly believe WWE, if it meant getting a Kenny Omega, would allow him to work select agreed upon in advance matches. If something comes up during contract, no, absolutely not. But for him, if it means for him to sign, they would definitely 100% allow him to work whatever he wanted to work if agreed upon. It's no difference than going to a new company and you having a pre-planned vacation and telling your new boss, hey, I got this vacation plan for my previous boss. They approved it. No, there's no difference. They absolutely, if you're that important to them and he's that important to them, they would make it work. That's what
you're doing there.
Yeah. You like that? Yeah, that was for you. But yeah, if it's that important to them, if it means that much, if Kenny Omega signing on the dotted line needs that to happen, I think they would do it. Now, going back to your original question, I'm sitting here thinking and marinating on it. I think I would take a Punk over the Elite, and I like the Elite a lot. I do think ultimately, I think all parties will be AEW at the end of when it's all said and done. You know, you already hear that Tony's talking to the Elite now, trying to extend contracts now. So Tony knows what's most important, and I think ultimately Kenny and the Bucks and Punk all know what's most important, and that's being able to work professionally, even though there's personal, vendettas against one another. You know, Matt and Jeff did it. Not Matt and Jeff. Matt and Edge did it with Lita. You know, it can be done. It can be done effectively. It can be good for TV. So
I mean, don't get me wrong. AEW, I mean, they've come a long way, and they're definitely number 2. But they still have a ways to go to catch WWE. I mean, WWE is just it's been around so long. Like, I mean, like from total value, just reach, whatever. I mean, it's just such a global brand that I don't know if they'll ever get there. But based on everything that's happened and stuff, the potential feud between the Elite and Punk, whether it be FTR or somebody else, to me, that's the only feud that I can just see that's on the table, that would be on the table right now, that could get them to a new level from a promotional aspect. Like it would just get, I mean, it would be the interviews, the promos, you know, that's what I said. I could see like, you know, Punk being on ESPN, or, you know, the Elite being here talking about, you know, legit problems, but, you know, turning it into a work. So,
what would you like to see happen, Elliot? What's your?
Nah, I mean, I'm kind of with you guys. I think ultimately they all sign. I think ultimately they'll sign and everything. I would take Punk over the Elite as well.
And that sucks because I do like Kenny and I do like the Bucks. I do. But I just think what's most important to AEW.
Can I just say that I had said this from day one when it happened, that I eventually, I mean, that I think he'll be back, and that it just
Time.
Yeah, I mean, if he wasn't hurt, if he wasn't injured, and he didn't have to take the time off, it would have maybe been a different story.
Yeah.
But the fact that he had to be out for 9 months, I mean, it's gonna die down. It's not gonna be even if it picks back up, it's not gonna be nothing like it was weeks.
I have a
leading up
question
to
here.
it. But also, I mean, the more it dies down, the bigger the story is when it does happen.
The very fact that we're gonna assume that Punk's under contract, right? He might not be. We don't know. If he is, that's injury time added. So technically, Tony, if it was done that way from jump, we could have him for a while.
Yeah.
Even if Punk wanted out.
So I mean,
we've been hearing reports of a buyout since it all happened, and at least nothing's been divulged that anything's happened. So it's either the best kept secret.
Yeah, I mean, the reports of a buyout, I think, were just people speculating that was an option. I don't think anybody was ever considering a buyout. That's just my take.
It just sucks, man. We go back and think. Do you remember that promo cut by Ace? That built.
Oh yeah.
Dude, everything was on fire. Like the build was there. That promo where Ace got him hyped back up and helped him, quote unquote, find himself in front of that crowd in Chicago. Man, and then everything just went to hell in a handbasket. But I'm hoping Ace comes back. I thought he was a great compliment.
I mean, we all, I mean, being wrestling fans our whole lives, I mean, you know that the best characters are the ones where
there's
it's
a real
an extension of themselves, and this would be a whole feud that would be I mean, like, it's,
as long as
they can turn it into a work, but it was definitely real when it happened. I mean, even if some of the things, I mean, even if it comes out that some of the stuff was, added upon and like hearsay and stuff exaggerated, like it was still a real, I mean, a real situation. So I mean, I think that to me that's what makes money. I mean, you go back to Bischoff talking about controversy and stuff like that. Like that's what I would have saw. That's what I was saying from like when it happened. Like if I was Tony and I was looking at the situation, like I get he's the owner and he's got to take care of his people, but if you're looking at it from a company standpoint, like it didn't make the company look good because it was like internal turmoil, but it wasn't like Punk was coming out. Like it wasn't like he went on some radio show and like was bashing AEW. Like he didn't bash the company. He was bashing certain people.
I still think Punk wouldn't bash the company
and stuff. So like to me, it never was a negative to the company thing. So if I was an owner, I'd be like, well, he didn't really do anything. Like he wasn't doing anything that I mean, like it would have been like if he would have said that in the ring during a promo, it would have been like, it would have been fine. Like it would have been like, oh, like that was a fire promo. He just said it off the record, or like, off the show, and it just turned into a big deal. So I would just see dollar signs. Like if that was me, I'd be like, hey, if we can make this work, or at some point, whether it be 2 years from now or whatever, like this is what we got to do, because this is going to be bigger than any storyline that we've had going on since the beginning of the company.
I agree.
Well, guys, before we continue, we'd like to take this moment to thank Day Soul Coffee Lab out of Birmingham, Alabama. Y'all, I consider myself a coffee connoisseur. I absolutely love coffee. And I found what I believe to be the absolute best coffee out there. With Day Soul Coffee Lab, you can be sure to get coffee that's super smooth and always fresh roasted. Some of the best, if not the best, coffee you'll ever drink. So swing over to the website, daysoulcoffeelab.co, and use promo code LOWDOWN to get 10% off your order. They even have a subscription option where they'll deliver coffee directly to you every month. Guys, it's a no-brainer. If you're going to drink coffee, you might as well make it great coffee. Oh man, good old day Soul Coffee Lab. You can see the thing at the bottom of the ticker. Go to the website, enter that promo code, and get 10% off. Yeah. AEW Dynamite comes on.
I actually think this week's going to be a big episode.
I can see that.
The card on paper looks pretty good.
I mean, first, well, I don't know. I won't say first, but I mean, we've touched on the bar mitzvah already. I'm interested to see how where that goes.
That's gonna be a great.
We also got Darby Allin returning.
Let's talk about what we think's gonna happen.
Do we? Because that's not on the actual like AEW's show poster.
Unless he returns to Rampage. If he returns to Rampage, that's a.
And I don't look to see what happened. Like that's not gonna happen.
That's a mistake. But that's one thing he announced on Rampage or Dynamite the other night is that he's coming back this coming week.
Did he say this week? I caught it, but I didn't pay attention to the wording. I thought he was just saying like stay tuned for.
I took it as he's going to be there this week. He may not be, but it definitely sounds like he's going to be making a big announcement about who he's going to face next.
Stinger.
I'm thinking it's Sting. He mentioned that there's someone that he's got to face before his time's up at AEW. I don't know how much longer Sting's got in his career.
If he comes out, in my opinion, if he comes out and announces that he wants to fight Sting, I think that might be the end. That might be it for Sting.
Well, in all honesty, if Sting does have one more match in him,
it needs to be Darby.
It has to be. So just to see if he taught the student enough, what exactly did the student learn? I think it'd be the story writes itself. Should be good. If Darby does come out, and I look to see Sting come out with him. They're in the ring. Darby's cutting his promo.
Turns at Sting.
It's you. Yeah. Something stupid, but it'd be good.
I don't think he turns heel.
Yeah, I don't. I said
the
that.
crowd.
I said that when I said that when y'all were talking about. I mean, there were definitely some opportunities where Darby could have very easily turned. One of them, Darby could have turned on Sting. Sting could have turned on Darby.
That might be done on purpose.
That would have made sense, but knowing that Sting doesn't have much time left, I definitely never saw Sting turning, but I think that the whole build has been about him and Darby. Like everything that Sting's done's had Darby attached to it. So I just think it makes sense for that to be his last.
I would love for Darby to say he wants to face Sting, be given adulation to Sting and all that. They shake hands and stuff, hug. Sting pulls Darby, Scorpion death drop. Bam!
An interesting thesis I saw, or opinion. This person said, we know Sting's near the end of his career, but Tony Khan has to keep Sting. And I read deeper into the thought, and they said a general manager role. Like Sting needs, AEW needs Sting to be active, because they said every time he's there or has a presence on one of the shows, I mean, the crowd is bought in. People like Sting still to this day.
Well, he's got so much knowledge and wisdom to pass on. So
I would agree, man. I think Tony needs to keep Sting under contract.
I do too.
Well, we know he's not going to WWE.
Well, I was gonna say, I think he needs. I mean, I do agree. I think I read something similar, and I was like, he's one of the few. I mean, we've talked about it before, but he's definitely one of the few in any company where he's been. I mean, you look at Goldberg, Flair. I mean, anybody where he's like, I feel like his return has been done the way it should be. Like, he's definitely been given his props. Like, he's had his moments. He's had funny moments. He's had standout moments, but he's never.
I was thinking
he's never overshadowed anybody. It's not like he's come in and squashed Talent or done anything. Yeah. Like, even, I mean, like, he's undefeated. Like, I mean, he's like 60 something years old. Like, he doesn't need to be undefeated, but it's all been like tag matches. Like, somebody else has been with him, or, he's
been protected.
He's been protected, but he's also not just coming in and like stealing somebody's spot, so to speak. You know, I mean, Goldberg's still talking about main event stuff, and I'm like, bro, have you seen the last few matches that you've had? Like, stay away.
Speaking of stealing a spot, though, we very well could have a new champion at the end of Dynamite. And I'm not talking about trios. I'm talking about Double J
will not.
Jeff Jarrett versus Orange Cassidy,
the international champion
for the international championship, no longer called the Mid-Atlantic Championship,
which is a stupid name for a belt.
Which one?
International. No, I like Mid-Atlantic or whatever it was called. Was it All Atlantic? All Atlantic Championship.
All Atlantic. Yep.
Yeah, the international championship is a cheap pun on it. Intercontinental, and I don't like it.
But it's more fitting than All Atlantic because they were going over to the Pacific. They were yeah, that's right, Billy. They are leveling up the championship, and Tony Khan made sure you understood that because he said it 47 times in a 30-second promo. We are going to level up.
He didn't know. He said like the same line and then looked like he forgot what he was gonna say and just
Said it again.
repeated the same line. And then
Said
got
it
to the
again.
same point and then was like, "Oh crap, what was I supposed to say? We're gonna level up the championship, guys."
I'm gonna have to watch that.
It was really awkward.
Tony,
I wasn't
I
even
love Tony
paying
Khan.
that close attention, and I kept hearing I wasn't watching the screen. I was doing something else, but I kept hearing it. I was like, I thought Trevor was rewinding, and I looked, and Trevor's like, just shook his head, like, "What is he doing?" And I was like, "Is that all one promo?" He was like, "Yeah." He said the same thing like 4 or 5 times.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
What was he doing?
You know what, Tony? I love Tony's passion and appreciation of pro wrestling, but I can never get beyond his eyes. He's always like this, and his eyes are like saucers. You know, it's
Like it reminded me of the old Tony interviews. Like he looked so uncomfortable when he was talking, but I think that's just his face.
I love Tony Khan.
But
What else on that
but
card,
What you
Elliot?
were getting at about? Oh no, there's no So I was gonna say you said at the end of Dynamite, and I was like, "There's no way that's gonna be the main event." I kind of hope it is the main event because if it's the first match and Jarrett wins, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch the rest of Dynamite.
Bro, I hope it opens with it, dude. Jericho. Jarrett's matches don't have been good.
Yeah.
I know it pains you, causes you physical pain
Come
to
on.
admit it.
Look,
Jericho. I keep saying wanted to say Jericho.
So I will say that
Double
like,
J.
I can't stand Jarrett, but it
Is it his
does
music?
but it,
Is it his music?
it's everything.
Is it his hair?
Everything.
His
hair,
biker
his
shorts?
music,
It's his Fu Manchu.
all of it.
What?
Like
I need to know.
I don't know
It
because
bothers me.
I was watching the China documentary from the week before last, not because this week's was Kane, and there was a thing where it was her like China and Jarrett, and I was like,
Intercontinental Championship.
as soon as I saw it, I was like, I can't stand Jarrett. I don't know what it is, but
he just has a face I want to punch.
But I am glad he's around because there's characters like that make wrestling interesting. Like
Yeah.
you got to have those characters.
You're
that you
invested
hate.
in
like
him.
I don't like him, and I don't. Every time he's on TV, I'm like,
Is-
here we go.
Is
But
Jarrett AEW's Brock Lesnar for you? I don't know.
It's hard
I
because
think you hate Jarrett more.
I do hate Jarrett more. Hands down. It's not even close.
Jarrett goes all the way back to his
He's so
WCW
likable,
days.
though.
Like
He's
there's
so
been
likable.
times that I've liked Brock. I've never liked Jarrett.
Really?
Never, ever.
How about when he got super kicked by Chuck Norris? That was awesome. Do you remember that spot?
Yeah, but he wasn't cheering for Jarrett. He was glad
Thank
Jarrett
you,
got kicked.
thank you, Chuck
Thank you,
Norris.
Chuck Norris. Go balls.
Do you remember
I
when he
don't
got
like
super
Jarrett's
kicked by Chuck
hair.
Norris?
No.
SummerSlam. Oh,
I don't like Jarrett.
we're gonna watch
I don't-
that.
Yeah, I don't like his country music.
Was he a part of the WCW rap
baby
is crap?
tonight. Rap is
I
crap.
don't-
No, that's Kurt
No,
Hennig.
that was Kurt
that's
Hennig.
And
and,
Wyndham.
And Wyndham. Yeah, I don't think Jarrett was part of it.
Dang it, he should have been. That would have been great.
No, he was with Road Dogg.
Road Dogg sang the song. He did the music video,
I don't know.
which is actually if you like 90s country.
You'll be my baby tonight or something like that.
I do like 90s country.
No, you saw it. I shared it on Facebook.
Yeah,
You
I had already. I told you I just I recently popped up like a week before that.
got sick. You got sick.
But-
You got ill.
I'm a fan of 90s country, and I can't stand it.
Just because it's him lipping it. That's it. If it was Road Dogg in the video, you'd be like, "Oh man, this is great."
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus. Poor Jarrett. He gets so much hate, man.
So yeah,
The guy's dad passed away, and he was on the next episode of Dynamite. It just goes to show his passion for the business, man. I respect Jeff Jarrett.
no, I think he's got a lot to offer the business. I just can't stand him, which is fine. There's got to be people that you can't stand.
Oh, you borderline hate the man.
There's, I mean, like there's been characters before that I can't stand, or people in
Like
there,
who?
like as a
Besides
kid,
Brock.
no, as a kid, or
Uh-huh.
like
Vader.
maybe not a kid, younger. I mean, like 20s. I couldn't still like I couldn't stand Orton's Legend Killer gimmick because I was a fan of Legends, and I was like, it's just disrespectful. Now I got a little bit older and just understood things of the business a little bit, and now looking back, I'm like, it was freaking fantastic.
All right. Who
because that
who
was-
else have you hated? This should be an interesting this is a segment in itself. Jonathan hates.
So I wasn't a fan of X-Pac. 1, 2, 3 Kid, yes, but six pack or X-Pac, I didn't like at all.
He's a little prick. How about with Kane? Did you like him with Kane? When he's the one that got Kane to talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Not really.
Yeah. That's Sean Waltman's all right, but oh man, I'm just thinking about that. So funny. Jeff Jarrett.
But Jarrett's always been the like.
He's
I just
a prick.
I don't know. I just
Did you like the stars in the butt, Jeff Jarrett, with the
no.
the suspenders,
You know,
the long curly
with
blonde?
the white. No, all the white.
Oh man.
No, never. There's not been any version of Jarrett that I have liked.
Can we agree that Jeff Jarrett has one of the best theme songs in all of wrestling? How do you not get amped? Who sings that? Metallica? My World. Who is that? I'm gonna look that up, Elliot. Find out who that is. It sounds like Metallica or somebody. It's somebody mainstream. But
So Orange Cassidy, Jeff Jarrett. That's the match.
come on, Jeff. Who you cheering
Um,
for, Jonathan? I hope Orange squeezes him.
You got
Look at that. Look at that man.
you got MJS rebar mitzvah.
Okay, so wait a minute. So that's the match card, right? For Jeff Jarrett and Orange Cassidy. The fact Jeff Jarrett doesn't have like Satnam Singh.
This is the actual show one, and it's got all of them in there.
Oh, F. Okay. Dang it. Thanks for setting me up, Elliot. All right, what's next?
We'll hear from the Outcasts: Ruby Soho, Tony Storm, Saraya.
You heard about that
Um,
that story, right? The Outcast. People think it's awful lot like the Outsiders.
yeah, makes sense.
Mm.
The debut of QTV
Yep.
with QT Marshall.
So let's talk about. Can we talk about how Wardlow
What?
got completely buried?
Yeah, I was not a fan. I hated it.
He wins the title from Samoa Joe, and 3 days later gets powerbomb through.
We've seen that before, though. I don't get that. I don't know. He might be on his way out. I don't know. It's weird because I like Wardlow with his hair. His hair back. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of him winning and then being like, all right, maybe they're gonna put him back on this path. And then like, I mean, he didn't know that he got like squashed, but I mean, he lost because of the interference. But I mean, I was just like, really? I mean,
Still lost, right?
3 days later, Jade Cargill issues an open challenge to any Canadian. There's a lot of
Ty
rumors
Valkyrie.
about
There's no brainer there.
Some
Valkyrie.
people have said they think it might be what's her name?
It ain't
Trish.
Trish.
No, used to be part of the Beautiful People.
Velvet, Angelina.
Angelina.
I think all signs point to Taya.
Yeah, I mean her contract's up with Impact and everything. And she's like a legit person that could possibly take her on.
Brock Lesnar's from Canada.
Is Natalia still
Not
I mean,
originally.
I know she's been on TV, but is Natalia still with WWE? Like, do we know for sure?
Yeah.
Because like a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 before the match was announced, like Jade had posted something on Natty's like Twitter post or something about something, like replied to a comment that like made it seem like
There's
maybe it was
one
something
woman everybody's not talking about
from Canada.
from Canada. I'll let you think on it for a minute. Come on, Elliot. Think. One woman, undoubtedly going to be a Hall of Famer. Gail Kim.
Yeah. You know, I saw that.
She's from Canada.
Yep.
And that would make, to me, I'd rather see that than Taya. Because Taya is so fresh off of an Impact. Gail's been retired for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really good. And plus, I think that would really elevate Jade. And Jade's already, I mean, she's got a rocket strapped to her, bro. So I think Gail Kim would be a good one.
Let's talk about this 6-man tag team. You got Hangman Adam Page in the Dark Order, and it's the original Dark Order with Evil Uno, and guess who's back? Stu Grayson versus the Blackpool Combat Club. Now, I have a feeling Tony's just going to let the BCC go over, but man, I would love to see Stu Grayson, Dark Order, and Hangman pull it out.
I'm interested in that one. I don't know. You got a lot of things going on in that match. You know, you have Ring of Honor champion, you have the BCC, but on the other side you got Hangman, Adam Page, a returning Stu Grayson. There's a lot of different things going on, so I don't know which. I'm kind of torn on what they do there.
There's a lot of people have said they are not happy about Hangman and getting back in the thing. They're like, they just had a match. Why are they doing this again? And
I really thought he was heading back to the Elite here, like at some point.
My response was, it's very simple. Hangman said in his interview with Renee, I'm done. It's time to move on. Hangman is a friend. He just came out to help his buddies. And he even looked at Mox and walked past Mox to help his dudes. And Mox didn't attack them. And here we are.
I will say that I think I'm a fan if they want to go the route of like BCC being like full on heels. Like I was a fan of the way they attacked Dark Order last week. I was like, all right, yeah, I mean they're supposed to be these bad dudes. Like just let them be that way.
I can get behind that. But then what's probably the match of the night? The Elite versus the JAS versus the AEW World Trios Champions, the House of Black.
What you're saying about the House of Black? House always wins.
House always wins.
But I am. That's gonna be hilarious. I look for some funny moments. So it's interesting. So you had Jericho and Omega at one point for the AEW World Championship, right?
Yep.
And then you got that story. You got
a
lot of young guns on Jericho Appreciation Society.
Don Callis said, and I quote, you have the best wrestler from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Yeah.
Then you have Chris Jericho.
Where's he from? Calgary? No. Where's Jericho? Jericho's from Winnipeg too. Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm. Manitoba.
So and that's where Omega's from too?
They're both from.
So I think that's gonna be hilarious. And where's this show at? Where in Canada? Is it from?
I think it's in Winnipeg.
It is in Winnipeg.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I want to see what the crowd does here. That's what I want to see. So I look for a huge moment where, you know, pro wrestling, Ethan Case, he's big on moments, right? There's gonna be a moment in this match. There's gonna be several. I look for
nose to nose.
An Omega Jericho nose to nose, and somebody comes and lays them both out.
Yep.
It has to be. And the crowd's gonna go ape crap. They're gonna be pissed.
Alistair or Malachi steps up, roundhouse kicks both of them in the face.
That I look for that, a moment like that, and the crowd is gonna get nuclear heat for the house. It's gonna be awesome. This is an exciting show.
Yeah, so
look at the card
on paper, it looks good.
And actually, the more we talk about it and like think about different things they could do, I think it makes it even more exciting. I do love the Danhausen down there in the corner.
Oh yeah, right behind the current AEW All In at champion.
International.
Well,
All In now. They haven't changed it yet, right?
Up to the international championship.
Let's level up.
The belt doesn't change, just the name.
So when's it? Oh, it's literally called the International Championship now.
Yeah,
they've already changed the name. So dumb.
They leveled up last week.
It's time to level up.
You sound like him. gonna have to go. I gotta watch that promo. But
so I think what really makes like some of his promos and stuff, you're talking about his eyes. He looks like,
he's on coke.
what's his name? Rick Moranis or whatever from
Rick Moranis.
So
like that's who he reminds me of. The guy from Honey I Shrunk the Kids, like Ghostbusters.
does.
Like that's who he reminds me of. Like
Little Shop of Horrors.
Dale Oliver.
My world.
Oh, it definitely has some like Metallica, like what's that influence? I like. You were talking about Jared again, and he's getting pissed. He's over there like, God, hey. Thank you for that, Billy.
well, the comment was made 20 minutes ago. We just had the page on. Jared wins on muting the chat tomorrow night.
Oh, bro, you will not hear the end of it because
Well, the problem is
they've teased it.
You know
They've
what?
teased a big win.
The problem is, here's how I'll know, because I don't get off work till 8:30 tomorrow. So the match will probably already have happened.
No.
And then you don't think so?
No.
There's no. When do you think the match will happen? You don't think it opens the show?
Go back to that card, Elliot. Go back to that card picture.
Oh, it's at the very bottom. That's the opener.
But you got Hangman and you got the Dark Order and
No,
that
you
might
got to
open.
start hot.
You
gotta
got the trios at the end.
the trios are definitely at the end. That's the main event.
Maybe.
Either way, like by the time I get home to cut the show on, it'll be 9 o'clock. The show, that match will be over by then.
Do you open with the rebar mitzvah?
You gotta start hot. So it's got to be something that
Well, the Dark Order BCC match could start it.
That's a good one. Look at that. America versus America.
he gets pissed.
See, they already have international champion on the title.
Huh?
Yeah, they got it right there. International champion.
Oh, I hate the name. I wish they could have thought of something a little better.
International Harvester.
AEW
Then it
Worldwide.
needs to go to Jeff Jarrett.
Say what?
With International Harvester, I mean, that was funny. It's got to go to the Country Star. He's got to have a country. He's going to be the Country Music Hall of Fame. Oh, I love Brody's face in this picture.
Scary dude.
Mm.
God, he's so scary.
Now, on
He
a
is.
topic of kind of AEW Ring of Honor / WWE. So did you?
What? AEW / Ring of Honor / WWE.
Yeah, like AEW Ring of Honor and then WWE. Like
Okay.
it's transitioning. So the rumors are that Brian Cage's contract's up and
Yeah.
that he agreed to work through
Mhm.
the Ring
Super
of Honor
Card of
show,
Honor.
which is March 31st.
Yes.
WrestleMania is April 1st.
Yes.
So if he's working without a contract, that would be
I'm
a very
pretty
smart
sure-
thing to do for WWE to do.
Oh, I said last week he's going to be the Raw after Mania or Mania signee. Yeah, he's definitely there. I would definitely look for him to get involved in Brock and Omos.
Even if he didn't sign a contract with WWE, it would just be smart for them to bring him in as a one-time, like one-off.
He'd be AEW and WWE in the same week, day after one another.
Because it's like one of those shock moments that would happen. Back.
So what's Lashley doing at Mania?
We don't know. He came out on Twitter and was like,
he said the Almighty. He said the Almighty will be at Mania.
Yeah.
He will be.
he
running
said,
through
he
somebody.
said he'll be ready no matter what.
Who can stop?
Oh
The
my God,
machine.
we're gonna get,
can stop the Almighty?
What do you think about that?
we're gonna get
Oh,
Bobby
was that on your mind
No,
when you were talking?
no.
Oh,
But it's funny.
because he said you said machine, right? You said Almighty. You said machine.
oh,
Because I was thinking,
you
Brian
said
Cage.
it like the
Oh, yeah,
song.
I was-
I'm sorry.
who can stop the Lord Almighty? No one.
Oh my God, that was funny.
Oh,
So we're gonna get Brock versus Omos and Lashley versus Cage. Awesome.
Oh, that hurt. Yeah, I pulled the muscle.
Cheryl said he made me do the work because he's playing football and listening to y'all. Hashtag
ADD. Hashtag ad.
I read it the first time.
Yeah, I was. Totally was. Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
That cracked me.
Hey, Jonathan, you saw Creed, man,
I did last night.
and Shane, you saw Scream 6.
Yeah, I did. Well, good. We got two different movies we can talk
Yeah.
about. Creed is on my mama, so it's on my list.
Already?
Pretty sure I saw it there.
But is that why movies wasn't working today?
You saw Creed before I saw Scream?
No, I saw Creed last night.
Okay, so it's fresher. Go ahead. I want to hear about it.
Uh,
No spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Still kind of new.
it was fantastic. So I was able to make it after work. I was like, all right, I got to get off at a certain time to get to the movies. I did not get off by a certain time. Rushed to the movies. The movie was supposed to start at 8:30. I sat down at like 8:50 by the time I got my ticket and everything.
Preview still going.
And it was like one preview left. And I was like, holy the movie started at like 8:55. I was like, all right, well, that's thank God for previews, because that was the only reason I made it. Because I was like, well, I'll just miss the first few minutes. But I was really, the next showing wasn't until like an hour later. So I was like, it's either now or never. If I don't watch it now, I might not even be able to see it till it comes out.
Best in the series?
I think so. I think some people won't like it because they don't talk about Rocky at all in this one. So like Sylvester was in the first two. He's not even mentioned. Like his character's not even mentioned in this one, I don't think. Now, there was some like moments where it was just, I wouldn't even say a callback to Rocky, but just like him training, like the montage was similar, like just different things like running up the steps kind of thing. Like, but I don't remember hearing Rocky acknowledged at all. So some people probably won't like that because of that being the history. But I think this one, but it stood on its own. Like it didn't need Rocky to tell the story that it was telling. Story was really good. The guy that plays the antagonist is a heck of an actor. So he also plays. He was the one that played Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't even know what else he's played in before he started doing the Marvel stuff. But like, I mean, he's a good actor, and he was jacked in this one. Like I think if he would have,
they said that dude's the future, man.
If he would have been like when they did the Mike Tyson movie, or if they were to do another Mike Tyson movie, like the way his stature was, like he looked like when you first see him without, like when he's training without a shirt on and stuff, I was like, bro, this guy's like big. I mean, Michael B. Jordan's in good shape, especially for these movies, but I mean, he was like double the size. I mean, he was gigantic.
Michael Jai White has always been one. I'm like, dude, that dude's huge.
That's the guy that's playing in the new Marvel movie.
Yes.
Khan?
Yeah. They said like, oh, this guy's the future. Like there's some big roles coming down the pipeline for him.
He was really good in Ant-Man.
Interesting.
But I enjoyed Creed. Like the last 30 minutes of the movie.
So what I do love about the Creed movies, I have not seen the third one yet, but referring to the first two, is the realism, the way they showcase the boxing match is like, man, this feels like I'm watching Showtime or something, Yeah. So I imagine if it's like anything like that, it's pretty captivating.
No, I enjoyed it. I was definitely glad I went and watched it. And then, what do you think IMDb rated it? I know you haven't seen it yet, but
I mean, just the way I'm hearing people talk about it.
8.3.
No, 7.2, 7.3. Just the way people are talking about it. There's not any movie out in theaters right now that I would think anybody's rated above an 8. Where are they at with it?
7.3.
Yeah, I mean, just judging by what people are saying about it. Yeah, so
I want to hear about list. Scream, but
I can't spoil this one.
But before you go into the movie itself, what you thought? Because you went Sunday,
maybe,
or Monday,
day after the party. So party,
Monday.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. How was the theater when you went? Like, did you notice any? Like, was there more people there than normal or anything like that?
It was quiet.
No. See, that was the one thing. It was like gave me hope because I went on no. You went Sunday then. You had to go Sunday. I went Monday.
When was the party?
Sunday.
Yeah, you went
that
Sunday.
night.
I did?
Yeah. You were supposed to go Saturday because you went to a wild game thing.
I went Sunday night.
You went Sunday night.
Well, maybe
9:15.
I was like, I got off work 8:30, went straight to the movies. And when I pulled in, because I've been to the movies to that theater like on the weekends before, and it would be dead. Like when I got off work.
Where,
when I got there, no, Florence.
Oh yeah. So I'm fine.
But when I pulled in last night, like when I was getting ready to pull in, like I was driving, I was like, what is going on? Like there was a ton of cars there.
What were they seeing?
Scream, Creed. There was not a lot of people in the theater, but there was. It wasn't just me in there. But Creed was playing, Scream,
Well, Scream-
Cocaine Bear. There's actually a few different good movies out right now too. Like a lot of the movies that are coming out have all been reviewed pretty good. It's not like they're
Scream's been out. Scream came out this past week. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So I'm a big fan of the whole Scream series. Let me just preface with that, right? From 96 all the way up. There's, as with any sequel in the chain, there's always one or two that are just not as good, right? With Scream, first one's fantastic, second one's okay, 3 and 4 are the forgettable ones for me. 5, aka last year, is when it really picked up and started coming back, and 6 eclipses the first for me. Have you seen 5?
Not yet.
Wow. Okay, I gotta be real careful here. 5 is where it started to get good again, and if you watch 5, you'll be able to tie a lot of things together, and see some callbacks, right, and appearances of people in some form from the original. I'll just leave it at that. 6 is extremely violent. I love it. It's definitely the most violent Scream movie I've ever seen. It's not like the cheesy one stab and they die. It's very, very, very detailed and violent and just amazing. The acting is absolutely surprisingly good. The one woman looks just like Neve Campbell in 96, and it all makes sense why when you watch 5 and tie it all together. But yeah, Scream to me eclipses Scream 1. Scream 6 beats Scream 1 as far as like storytelling and the acting and the quality of kills, and just, I don't know, man, it's just awesome. And I thoroughly enjoyed it in every way, shape, and form. I think any Scream fan is going to love the movie. But I definitely think it's important to watch the previous ones to kind of make sure you don't have any gaps. But I definitely think it's something you're going to want to watch. But I think,
Yeah, I've meant
so
to watch
good.
the 5th one, but before now. But
you remember all the other ones?
I might need to go back and watch.
Well, the first one, we all remember that one. So the first one was, who that was. The second one was Billy's mother. I think the third one was Sydney's brother. So it just keeps going. But man, the way they tie it all together. Excuse me.
But yeah, I was trying to decide if I wanted to go see Creed or Cocaine Bear, just because Creed's newer, so I didn't know how much longer Cocaine Bear would be like really playing at the theaters around us. But it was Cocaine Bear was playing at 9 something, and Creed was playing at 8:30 and 9:30, and I was like, I can't wait an hour. I can't wait around an hour to watch the movie, so I'll just go and watch Creed. But it was definitely worth it. I'm glad that's the one I chose. But I've heard good things about Cocaine Bear. So, what you think about Brendan Fraser winning
for The Whale, or
yeah,
was it The Whale?
Yeah, The Whale. Yeah, best actor.
God bless him, man. I mean, he's completely reinvigorated himself with that role. I haven't seen it though, but I heard it's absolutely fantastic. So I'm definitely wanting to see it. Oh. Did you see The Whale yet with Brendan Fraser?
No, I haven't, but won an Oscar.
Yeah,
he won the Oscar, right?
Yeah, I got one. Sorry, my microphone wasn't on. Yeah, won an Oscar for best actor, and what's his name?
From Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
That's
won best
awesome.
supporting actor.
And I think I haven't read it, but did he play Data in the
Yeah.
Goonies?
No, well, so I can't remember. I looked that up at some point.
Boy, he looks similar.
I can't remember. I want to say like I thought the same thing, but it's not the same kid. But then
Dang it,
maybe I'm
okay.
thinking about somebody else.
But while you're looking that up, I am excited. So you got
It is the same guy.
is it? God, hey, that $50 bill. So let's do the next month. I think the biggest things we're looking forward to. There's actually 3 movies I'm looking forward to. John Wick 4. I think
Heard it was so.
early previews,
Huh?
early review.
Yeah. Said that it was probably the best action film of the last 10 years, maybe the best action film ever.
That's a big effing
And
statement.
so I saw that. So first off, I saw a different site said that it was rated 10 out of 10. And then I was like, okay. I mean, their skills. I mean, not that they're
It's Shane's scale.
not IMDb scale, but they were like, it's a masterpiece, 10 out of 10. Like a legit, not like a just 5-star thing. Like they had a like long write up, which I didn't read, but then I read.
Yeah, no.
It said I had it still pulled up because I was just looking at it. Critics are hailing John Wick 4 as the best entry in the franchise, with some going as far as calling it the best action film in the last decade. That's what it was, last decade.
That's still a big statement. All right. Hey, I'm not gonna doubt it. I'm gonna see it. The second one I'm looking forward to, I'm actually surprised I'm looking forward to it. I probably blame Stranger Things, but the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I think that looks awesome. I'm a big fan of Chris Pine anyway. So I think that's gonna be really good. And then the last Super Mario Brothers. I think we're all looking forward to that. It was the inspiration of Palmetto Championship Wrestling's comeback show, Super Smash Brawl. Right, Elliot? Tickets are on sale.
Yep, tickets are on sale. There's a little boom and boom.
But I think that's gonna be something special, man. I mean, if you looked at the cast in that movie,
The movie.
Chris Pratt, Jack Black, Seth Rogen, Keegan-Michael Key, Charlie Day. I mean, geez, it's ensemble. So I think it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I did not know this. I wonder if that's like a leak. So Charles Martinet is in the movie, and that is the actually voice of the original Mario character. Woo-hoo! That
You
Mario.
think he's in the movie, or you think it's just like
he's listed as
yeah,
cast.
but if they use his voice for something, they have to list him as part of the cast.
What if they use his voice as Mario?
That's what I'm saying. Like if there's a clip or something, or like something happens where they're different versions or something like that.
So, I mean, Chris Pratt's listed as Mario, but I mean, Chris Pratt could do Mario without voicing Mario, right? It could have been. I mean, could he not just done like the animations for it?
What? No,
Why?
they're not using people for the animations.
He might have done the animations for no.
No, he's definitely just the voice.
No,
Come on now.
What? Oh, it's me. I'm gonna hop.
Why? Well, first off, why would you pay this person so much money to sit there and do this when you could just get LA Knight to go there and do this?
Exactly. Well, it's also the same thing. Like
Chris Pratt's definitely doing the voice of Mario.
I equate it to the Sonic movie. When the original poster was released, the movie was done. It was about to come out, or well, it was months away, and everybody pissed and moaned because Sonic didn't look right.
Well, he looked bad.
Well, he did, but they went back and fixed it. But when they released the Mario trailer, people pissed and moaned that Mario didn't sound like Mario. I'm just saying it's weird. Why? Where would he be?
You want to bet a T?
I'm not betting crap. I just want to.
You're struggling to get that one out.
No, just be careful of my words. I'm just wondering why would he be listed? I don't know. Where would he be? Maybe they're playing a video game in the movie, and he's the voice of Mario in the video game.
Or maybe they just wanted to honor him and they got him.
Sounds like
somebody
Jumanji.
else.
Chris Pratt's playing. Woo!
It could happen. Wow! I used to love that. N64. Mario 64 was a blast.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Anyhow.
So I saw this the other day. I was looking at movies coming out. So you're a big PlayStation guy, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever played Gran Turismo?
Yeah.
So do you know they're coming out with a Gran Turismo movie?
Yeah.
You know who's in it?
No.
The lead guy
So,
is David Harbour.
Shut up. That's awesome.
David Harbour, Orlando Bloom.
That dude has become big.
Diamond Hatsu.
Can we not? Violent Night. Violent Night is amazing. He's hilarious.
But I never saw that it was announced. I just saw it. I was like, Gran Turismo. And then I saw his name and I was like, what? I was like, okay. I'm intrigued.
All right, what else? Anything else? Anything else with movies?
Nothing. Those are my big three.
Yeah. That was all. I mean, that was pretty much the only one I seen. I watched I got the finale of The Last of Us to watch. I haven't watched it yet. So can't talk about that yet.
Did you watch any XFL this weekend? 30,000 people.
We caught a few minutes of it
at the St. Louis Battlehawks game. I'm loving the XFL.
They're getting big, quick.
Well, The Rock had made it very clear when he first talked about showcasing like talent that didn't make it, and then being, maybe trying some things that the NFL were not wanting to try. I saw 2 days ago the NFL on their spring meeting thing that one of the proposed rule changes is to do away with the onside kick and do a 4th and 20. And I was like, I mean, if it goes through, we got to thank The Rock for that, because that was, the concept has been around for a while. It wasn't like The Rock came up with that, but they just weren't afraid to implement it. Man, hey, we're just gonna do it. If it works, it works. If not,
I love the kickoff. I absolutely love the kickoff. I love the no onside kicks. You have 4th and 20 instead.
I love that we legitimately have a football league that that it's growing, right? It didn't happen and then lose interest. People lost interest quick. This thing is only getting bigger every week. And they have struck gold filling the void the NFL left in a city, especially like St. Louis, in a city that lost an NFL team. Man,
San Antonio, they've had in the Alamo Dome, they've had some pretty good crowds too.
It's great to see, man. I'm excited after catching what we catch 20 minutes that day at the party. I want to get more in depth in watching. I want to get watching the XFL more.
I think what they need to figure out is which of these. First, any XFL team needs to be taken out of a NFL city. San Antonio doing good. St. Louis doing amazing.
Yeah.
Orlando's doing decent, but their team absolutely sucks.
Hey, the quarterback I've been wanting to watch is doing good. Danucci's great.
Well, Danucci's with the Sea Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, I feel like a team in Oklahoma City would be great. That
Midwest is hot, bro. Midwest is hot for football.
Now Houston, the Roughnecks, they have a pretty decent crowd.
Yeah.
It looks like DC has a decent crowd, but maybe it's because the Redskins, Commanders,
football
suck.
Team.
Yeah, they absolutely suck.
They absolutely
suck. And the Seattle's just, that's just a football town, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, and Vegas.
Where
I do wish Vegas would play somewhere else.
In baseball, the Marlins. Where were they? The Devil Rays? No,
Florida?
No, they were Miami.
So the Devil Rays. Where were they originally?
Tampa.
Where are they now?
Tampa?
Are they still in Tampa? I thought one of those Florida teams moved.
So the Marlins were
they were the
Miami,
Florida
and then they were Florida, and then I think they're now. Otherwise,
they're Miami.
They're back to Miami.
Yeah,
they've gone back and forth.
Okay,
I always remember them as the Florida Marlins, but
yeah,
they've been in Miami for a good minute now.
Okay, I was just wondering if there was a void left for a sports franchise there.
The XFL could do a team in Toronto.
Canada's big in sports too. I'm excited, man. Football is still got another football league coming.
Yeah. USFL.
Yeah. So,
and I'll say, I think next week we need to spend some time and talk about all these free agent moves in the NFL. Free agency started. There's already
been hot.
Some big shakeups, and I think within the next week or so, by the time the next episode hits, I think there'll be
We'll have a lot of definitive ones. There's still,
some bigger dominoes.
I think the big, like the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. I'll allude to it quick. Is interesting because supposedly it's done, right? But he hasn't said a word because he has to okay this, right?
Yep.
What does he want to do? Nothing's been done. Everything's agreed to in principle. Nothing's done. I think that's the big one. Proud of my Cowboys for one today, but we'll talk about it more next week. There's a lot of cool things happening in the NFL.
Yeah, the draft coming up in April.
Yep,
coming fast.
The trade with Carolina. Wow. We definitely got to talk about that all next week.
Yeah, I said there's
There's
a lot. That's
to
why
talk
I was
about.
like,
That's a whole
we just don't
episode.
wanna- yeah, we can get into that. Spend a lot of time.
But I'm
Yeah.
stoked.
Guys, remember to follow us on social media at Low Down Popcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us, keep up with us. Also, you need to make sure you follow us on social media for Palmetto Championship Wrestling. Facebook is at Palmetto CW. Working on the Twitter, working on the Instagram, but we'll be sure to let you know that.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. First show, April 15th. Come check us out. Tickets are on sale at pcw.ticketspice.com/PCW-super-smash-brawl. So,
Sounds like a
yeah, it's
young Excalibur over there.
March Madness this week. Keep up with the NFL draft. Keep up with XFL. Dynamite 2 tomorrow night. If you're catching this on Wednesday, it's tonight. And yeah, guys, as always, we appreciate you listening to us. I'm Elliot.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jonathan.
This has been the Low Down Popcast. As always, guys, keep it popping.